what do you want your legacy to be?
I think I'm really proud of the championships that I've won, the Grand Prix, the tournaments, the cups, and the trips. And obviously I'm going to keep working to accumulate more, right? More trips and more
Mhm.
more big moments like that. But I think at the end of it all, whether I keep winning or don't, I think the big thing that I want to be known for is that she never stopped working.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling network on the planet.
Bonjour. You're watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, and today we have an amazing show, and of course, nothing but amazing guests. You've seen her on Triple A, ROH, and CMLL. You've seen her she is the 2025 Grand Prix de Amazonas winner. She is La Diciosa del CMLL. That's the goddess of CMLL for those who don't speak Spanish, and clearly I don't either. Please welcome Persephone. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am wonderful, despite my Spanish teacher shaking her head at me, just like she really never learned. It's
Decepción,
brutal.
¿verdad? We can do this in
Disappointment.
Spanish and just practice
Oh, no. You know what?
it.
So eventually, because I usually like get a really great feel. Not no shade to other people. I'm giving too much information, but no shade to other people I interview. But sometimes I get like
hmm
really good vibes off of people. I'm like, oh my god, we could be
hmm
friends. So I feel like
Uh,
if you have time, it's like, oh, she's really cool. Then I really do wanna. I've been learning Spanish on and off forever, and it's
okay.
like my life goal to be able to speak it fluently. But it's also
hmm
like clearly it's not because I haven't put much effort into it. So it'd be cool if I know somebody who does speak
Yeah.
Spanish who could just like speak it to me and force me to. That would be
Mhm.
great. But
Yeah,
that's
because I
a
feel like you can't learn languages from like books because I've tried it and it's really hard. You have to like
yeah.
listen to it.
You have to be engrossed. Yeah. Because I lived in
hmm
oh my god, where was it? It wasn't Tijuana. I lived in Mexico. It was Tulum. I lived in Tulum
hmm
for 6
On
months.
the beach?
And yeah, I
What
worked
a
at the resort.
life.
Yeah, and yeah, I worked at the resort, and it was oh my gosh, the crazy stories. I feel like I can't tell them on air, but I was able to understand Spanish.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
speaking, I would stay away from the speaking, but I was able to understand the full-on conversation, but then I
yeah.
moved, I left, and then, like, it was gone, but
But could you
none
like this has nothing to do with wrestling now, but could you
uh
like stay on the resort? Like days you weren't working?
No,
Could
no,
you
no,
be at
so
the
we had to
resort or
yeah,
no?
yeah, yeah, you could be at the resort. Oh my gosh, yes. So on days off,
Okay.
I would just go to the beach, and this is like I loved reading books at the time because I wasn't fully an
Yeah.
adult. I left when I was like a kid, and so literally I had a suitcase full of books. So I just brought books. So I literally on my
Yeah,
days
yeah.
off, I just go to the beach and just read books all the time.
Did I
It
choose
was
the wrong
amazing.
job? I feel like I chose the wrong job now.
I don't
I
think
feel
so.
I
I
feel like
don't
I
think
should be at a
given
resort right now.
yes, you should be a resort, but given where what you've
How?
done and what you've been doing thus far,
Yeah.
I don't think I think this is
I
the
know.
choice.
I
This
think
is the
a
choice.
storyline's gonna come out of TK convinced Perse to change jobs.
And then people send me hate mail. I don't want that smoke.
Yeah.
I don't want any of that smoke.
Yeah.
But and the reason why I don't want that smoke is because I feel like you're a phenom. Like you've been wrestling, you started when you were so young.
Thanks. Yeah.
And I was amazed because I was like, I was just doing some research. I'm wait, she's how old? Oh my gosh. And there's just so
Yeah.
much, like there's so much ahead of you that I'm really stoked about that. But so like let's start from the beginning as far as how you
Okay.
got started into wrestling and why.
I started training at 13, and it was more of like a little hobby because I've always been athletic. My dad is an athletic director in El Paso, Texas. So he had me and my sister in sports since we were like 5, like trying different
Hmm.
sports and everything because that's just his life. But all my family, they're all fans of lucha libre and pro wrestling. Like every
Hmm.
weekend, we were either watching a live event or we
Hmm.
were like crossing over to Juarez to see a show or we were watching a pay-per-view. Like there was always something to watch in terms of wrestling, whether it was
Hmm.
lucha or pro wrestling. There's always something like they're big fans. And obviously I was too. And so we went to this little local show in El Paso one day, and there was this sign that said, para clases, for classes, call this
Mhm.
number. And so I was bugging my dad because at this point I've already done like 5, 6 different sports. And so
Mhm.
I consider myself pretty athletic. And so at that point it was like, this is just another sport. Like put me in the sport. You put me in like 50 other sports. Put me in
Right.
this one too. And I was bugging him for a long time. And I think he kind of realized like she's not gonna leave me alone if I don't do it. Because they were like, he was like, yeah, 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 whatever, yeah, yeah. And then like every day I'd be like, did you call? Did you call? But did you call?
Mhm.
But did you call? And he'd be like, can you shut up? And so I think he got annoyed with me and he finally just kind of gave in. And yeah, he put me in lucha libre classes. I did it
Mhm.
for 2-ish years, but I got a concussion in another sport at one point, so like I took
Mhm.
a break and then I went back to it. And I think he thought it was just like a hobby type, like, oh, she just has to get out of her system type thing. And here I
Right.
am, like 10 years later, I'm still here.
And so, like, when you took the first bump, did you know, like, this is it? This is what I wanna do?
Yeah, I loved it. And actually, like the first week, because like I said, I think I've always been pretty athletic, but I was also doing Olympic wrestling. And so there are
Mhm.
obviously similarities in the movements and how you like control your body and everything. So the first week I got there, I think people were pretty surprised because I was doing like the basic rolls, like nothing, because I mean, I had
Mhm.
already done something similar. So I realized like by the third, fourth day, I was doing stuff that I think was a little bit more advanced for a third, fourth day type of,
Mhm.
like exercise. I was like giving someone like an AA. And so like it was things that like I think I'm moving a little fast because there was someone that had been there like a couple months, like also a little kid, but they had
Mhm.
that kid like rolling still, like doing just the basic rolls and everything. And
Right.
like he was struggling to kind of like balance himself a little bit. And so like in that moment I kind of realized like I think I'm pretty good at this.
So, so, again, so for Lucha Libre, so when you started, then you started having matches, and you were
Yeah.
masked at the time.
Yeah.
So, what made you decide, because some people, like, you have no idea what they look like under the mask, they've been
Hmm.
wrestling for years. So what made you
Hmm.
want to, unmask?
It was a long decision process. Like I feel like people might think
Mhm.
like, oh, just out of the blue, I just took it off. But it was actually a while of thinking it over because when I first started wrestling, when I debuted, I was 15. And I
Mhm.
had a really like baby face. If I mean, I think I still do, but even more so
Yes, you
because I
do.
was 15. Even more so when I was 15. And so my mom was like, no, you're not wrestling like that, like without a mask, because I mean, it sounds
Oh,
gross, but like
yeah. No,
all these
safety.
grown men are gonna be
Right,
watching you and like you're not gonna be wrestling without a mask at 15. They're gonna see who
right.
you are and like she just didn't like it. So I put the
Yeah.
mask and I said no biggie. But then over time I started to like kind of change it and play with it. And the guy
Mhm.
that designed it, he added that spider that was in the middle and it just
Mhm.
became actually I have one with me if you want to see it, but it just became something like really special to me and I really loved it. So at first it wasn't
Mhm.
like my choice, but then we kind of played with it and it became something that felt like, yeah, this is mine. Like I love it. So
Right.
I obviously kept it for 6 years. But at one point, I always knew I was very expressive. I knew like I could connect with an audience and I would record promos. And in my head, I was being like really expressive and I was making faces and I was doing all kinds of stuff. And then I'd watch the promo back and like you obviously couldn't see it because the mask was
Right.
covering everything. So in my head, I'm thinking, oh, this is really good. I'm making faces, I'm doing this and that. And you couldn't see it. I watched the video and it's just the mask. And I was like, well, I put all that effort into it and you can't see it. So it
Right.
was like a year long, like of should I not? Should I not? And then it got to the point where I moved up, signed with a bigger company, and they said you can't use Black Widow, the name, because
Mhm.
it's obviously for copyright reasons, we have to change our name. And so they
Right.
gave me some ideas, but they just didn't feel right. They didn't feel like
Mhm.
me. I didn't feel like I could do it justice. So I thought that was the moment. Like I was already kind of teetering with the idea of taking it off. And I thought if we're going to
Mhm.
change my name anyways, we might as well just change it, like start from zero. And so
Right.
that moment, I kind of took advantage of it because if it wasn't going to be in that moment, it probably wasn't going to be for years to come. So I kind
Right.
of took advantage of that. We need to change. And I thought, let's just take it off completely. Let's just start from zero.
So the name Persephone, so it's a
Hmm.
Greek goddess. So like, how
Hmm.
did you, because some people, like, it's a combination or it's just a name that they heard of or it's their name.
Hmm.
So, like, what attracted you to Persephone?
Persephone, I found it in a Greek myth book because when I was younger, I had a teacher that would read us Greek myth stories every
Oh,
morning,
wow.
and I really loved them. Like, because it's this big book and it's a compilation of little stories, and I really
Mhm.
loved that class. I loved when he would read us stories. So then I ended up buying some Greek myth books for myself, and I always like
Mhm.
that they were just really cool in general. Greek mythology, I always thought it was really
Right.
cool, and so. Well, when they told me, we need to make a change, and then I thought, and what if we just start from scratch? I didn't know what yet. I just thought, I mean, if we're gonna change my name and everything, let's just change the whole character. Like, like I didn't want to be a secondhand version of myself type of thing, where
Right.
like I take off the mask, but it's still Black Widow. Like, no, I want it to be something completely different. So then I figured it had to be something that I liked because I feel like when you're looking for your persona and your character, it has to be something that you connect with because then you're
Mhm.
not going to do it justice. If you don't believe in your own character, like, like if you don't feel it, you don't do it
Right.
justice. So it had to be something I liked, and I figured Greek myth is perfect. Then I started going through those stories and kind of reading, like, different personas and everything. And there were a few options, but when I found Persephone, I just thought she's perfect. I loved it.
Yeah, and it kind of ties in. So it's like the Greek goddess of spring and the queen of the underworld, where it's just like spring is
Yeah.
signifies something new. So it kind of was like perfect
Yeah.
to what you're trying to do. So now, how does it work? Like, you decided that you're going to unmask. It took you about a year. Do you build that into the storyline, or like how does it? How did it like? Was there like a long-term plan?
In my head and, like, on this end, yes. But I
Mm-hmm.
think to the fans, no. It was like a out of the blue, one day to the next shift
Okay.
because, I mean, I had been playing with the idea for a while. I put this whole, like, Pinterest mood board together of what the gear's gonna look like, what the
Uh huh.
song's gonna be, like, just what the vibe's gonna be, everything. Because I figured when I went to the office, I had to give something convincing. Like, I can't just be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey, I wanna take my mask off," because in Mexico, taking your mask off is a really big
It's a big
deal. Like
thing. Yeah.
it's a very big tradition. So if I would have just gone in and I'm gonna take it off and that's it, like no plan, they would have looked at me
Mhm.
like you're nuts. You're
Right.
on something. And they probably would have sent me packing like of not packing like leave the company, but like, no, 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 we're not doing that.
Right.
And so I figured I had to come with a plan that convinced them that like, showed them that like this is my idea and I think I can make it work. So I had the
Mhm.
whole mood board and everything. I even had like this is how I'll walk. This is the like
Oh,
entrance gear, this
nice.
is the gear, like this, I had the whole idea. And so I think part of it that convinced them was I think like my ambition that I had put or the
Mhm.
work I had put in it that like this can work. But since it was just gonna be like a reveal, it wasn't like a storyline, it wasn't really anything. It was I wrestled on the indies in Mexico up
Mhm.
until like let's say I don't know, like I want to say like maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. And by
Mhm.
Saturday or something like that, I was on TV and I took it off. Like, it was like a very
Gotcha.
quick shift. So that's why I feel like for people it was a very quick, like, what the hell? I just saw her the other day wrestle on
Right.
the indies with the mask. And then all
Uh-huh.
of a sudden, a few days later on TV, I wasn't.
Yeah. Was there or is there pushback? Like when because it's,
Yeah.
tradition and so is it like, "Girl, what you doing? You know what
Yeah.
you're part of." Right.
Yeah, there were a lot of comments at the beginning. Right now, obviously, that it's been maybe 2.5 ish years.
Mhm.
And I think people have seen like what I could do without the mask. I think there are a lot more people that go, no, that was a great decision or whatever. That was a great call. And
Mhm.
then I even like, there's even people in the wrestling world that go, I always knew. I always knew. In fact, I was gonna tell you, but I didn't tell you. You should take off the mask. And I thought, I'm sure, buddy, sure you were. But at the beginning, when I first did it, it obviously went viral, and a lot of people were commenting of, "That is so disrespectful," like, like, "There's a tradition, masks are sacred because obviously in Mexico, you like, lucha de apuestas,
Mm,
mask versus mask type match is like a
right.
you defend your mask to the death, like,
Right.
like, with everything you have, and so just taking it off is very disrespectful. And so
Right.
there were definitely a lot of comments of she doesn't respect the tradition, like of lucha libre, and like how rude of her, and just all these comments. And I'm sure there are still a handful that might think that, but I think
Mhm.
seeing like how I've connected with people with my faces, with my but like that's just become part of who I am and what I do. Like it's to the point where I go to shows and people will say something because they know I'm gonna react with my faces, or like, it becomes
Right.
like they're recording me because they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna say this," and she'll turn around and make her face. And so like I think now it's a little bit more accepted. It's all right. Like, it's like, oh, okay, that was a good call.
At one point, like, you knew of there was wrestling going on in Japan, there was wrestling going on in Mexico, but you weren't really, unless you were the fan who would get up at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, you weren't
Hmm.
really like seeking it out. But now it just seems like it like, why aren't you watching it? So do you find there's that
Yeah.
shift now that you're getting fans from all over the place as well?
100%. Because yeah, like even when I was a kid, I would just watch what was available, right? And I knew a
Mhm,
little bit of lucha libre because of the border, but even then, it wasn't too much. It was just like what's on TV.
mhm,
And I obviously as a kid didn't really watch like Japanese wrestling up until when I started wrestling. And like obviously you start to branch out and watch wrestling because you want to see like what's out there and what could I do and what style fits me. So then at that
mhm.
point I started branching out and watching. But I think if it hadn't been for me wrestling, I probably wouldn't have branched out that much. So I understand when there are people that don't really know other cultures, other styles of wrestling. But I think nowadays, because of our alliances with a bunch of different companies because CML is tied with AEW, Ring of Honor,
Mhm.
Stardom, New Japan. So I think all these partnerships and events like Forbidden Door and like Wrestle Kingdom, where we were all involved, like a handful from every company,
Right.
we were all involved in a show like that. I think it opens the door for a lot of fans because now I get messages from people from the US, people from like the UK. When I went to the UK, I was really shocked, honestly. I wasn't expecting people to even know who I was because
Uh-huh.
I mean, I wouldn't expect them to watch CMLL. Like in Mexico, I think I walk around and people know who I am. But when I went to the UK, I was totally fine with the fact that people are probably not going to know me here. Like, this is my chance to introduce myself to them. And I think that was the case for some. But to my shock, there were people that knew me because I think now with these alliances that we have, people are branching out and they're watching a little bit of everything now.
Right. And I mean, obviously, and I'm really glad the timing of this interview because you had PWI, and so you're ranked
Correct.
51,
Yeah.
51 out of the women's PWI 250. So like, and PWI is not it's great because they recognize everybody from everywhere. So it's not like,
Hmm.
okay, it's just this pocket. But when you heard that news, how did that make you feel?
It was really cool. I try honestly not to, in general, I don't go on social media too much. I'll
Hmm.
go and post stuff and then I'll just kind of head out. So I heard it like a day later when my dad sent it to me because he's on social media, like he's on top of everything. And I guess he
Okay.
had, yeah, I think he like realized because we have a group chat. So I think he realized like she's not mentioning it or like, because we were just talking about random things. So then like a day later, he was like, "Do you know that you're on the PWI list?" And I said, "I'm sorry, what?" Like I didn't even know it came out. I went, "Did it come out? Are you sure?" He sent it to me and he was like, "Yes, moron." And he was like, "It's right here." And so he sent it to me. He's the one that told me. And it felt really special because I feel like the past year has been really rapid in terms of like growth and things I've done. Like a lot has happened in a very short amount of time. And
Hmm.
since it happens so fast, you kind of don't have a second to just stop and realize like, holy crap, like I'm in Japan. Holy crap, I'm in the
Yeah.
UK. Like, like you don't really experience it because you're kind of just going, going, going. And so like I think it was a moment to reflect, like, I did all that in this past year and it got me on this list. Like that's crazy. I think that's what kind of slowed me down and like stopped me of like, holy crap, you've had a big year. Because in the
Yeah.
moment you're just going, 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 like I
Right.
came back from the UK and like the next week it was our anniversary show, which is our biggest show of the year. So then like it was go, 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 go. I really didn't stop. And so I think seeing that my name on the list and everything was like a reflection of holy crap, I did that.
Yeah. Did you think that, wrestling was gonna bring you all over the world when you, like, first got started?
That was my hope and my dream,
Mhm,
but I didn't think it would. And I figured like I've always been pretty confident of like, no, if I work hard for it, I'm gonna accomplish it. One way or another, I'll do it.
mhm.
I've never had like a, oh my God, like is it gonna work? Is it not? Like I think my dad always taught me like, no, you can do it. Like if you work for it, you're gonna do it eventually.
Right,
But I think I never processed or even thought about how fast I would do it or how young I'd be when I did it because I knew
right.
I was eventually going to do it. But at 23, 24, I didn't think that it would all be happening. Like when I first went to Japan and I was in the Tokyo Dome, I was like, because the Tokyo Dome is huge and you feel like a tiny little ant. And so I was sitting in the middle of the Tokyo Dome, looking around, thinking like, holy crap, I'm here. Like I'm here right now. And I was like feeling the ring and like, like walking around like I'm here. Like this it just
Yeah.
wouldn't
It seems like a dream, but it's not a
click.
dream, and it's
Yeah.
like, like time warp
Yeah.
type situation. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's past. And so I talk to people or, whether it's an interview or with family, friends or whatever, and they ask like, or they'll, like, how was Tokyo? How was the UK? And it's like, I did that. Like, like even how
Hmm.
was Tokyo? Like, it's like we're both asking like, how was Tokyo? That's crazy. Like I did that.
So did you get to, I mean, on top of wrestling, which was, a huge opportunity, but did you actually
Mhm.
get to experience Tokyo,
A
or
little
was it
bit.
more work? Yeah.
It was more work. It was very little because those events were 2-day events. It was Saturday, Sunday. So I wrestled on the Sunday show, but I still went to the Saturday show
Mhm.
and watched most of it and just kind of got a feel or, like what it was going to be like. So it wasn't like a complete surprise the next day.
Mhm.
And then I think we flew out Monday night. So it gave me some of Monday to kind of walk around Japan and, experience a little bit. But I think
Mhm.
fully like experience it, no, I didn't get to because it was such a quick trip.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, this is only the beginning for you. So, I mean, it's
Thanks.
you'll definitely be going back again. I have a strong feeling.
That's the
But
hope. That's the hope. Because I
yeah.
mean, now that I watch different brands and different companies, I love
Mhm.
Stardom. Like just watching them, and like they're so badass. So I would
Yeah.
love to go over there to Stardom and see what I could do with them.
Is that well, how does I don't know if you can give that away, or if that's like, how does the partnership with AEW ROH start? Like, how does that work? Like,
Mhm.
can you do that given the fact that there is a partnership?
Who freaking knows, dude? I work here and I have no idea what's going on. No, I'm just kidding. From what I understand, because when I've gone to AEW and Ring of Honor, it is like a matter of, the big guys in the office talking of, all right, we'll lend you so and so. Like, who do you
Right.
want? We want so and so. Like, what could we do here? And it's kind of like a trade off of we have this talent, we have this talent. Let's like kind of move them around and shift them around. Um, I'm not entirely sure who I have to go bother. Do I have to call Mr. Stardom himself and be like, can you please take me? I don't know, but I hope. I mean, obviously, like the door is there. I think and that's what's great about these alliances, that I think those opportunities are there.
Right.
I'm just not really entirely sure how it works. So who knows? I'm gonna be making phone calls right after this interview right now.
I mean, so it's so funny. I forgot to tell you this off air. And when I saw this and now hearing you speak, I'm like, oh my God. So we have the same birthday.
But do we really?
Yes.
Oh,
And like how you're
cool.
like, yeah, like who do I have to make a call to make this happen? Like,
Yeah.
no, like not like, oh, I don't know how it's gonna happen and we'll see. It's like, no, how do I make this happen?
No,
Is
yeah.
so aligned with my personality. I'm like, oh, it's just like, oh yeah, of course it's gonna get done. Like, why
Yeah.
why isn't it?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
And I think it's also like that mentality of wrestling because when you're on the indies, I think it's well known that you have to go knock on doors. Like it's
Hmm.
very rare for companies to look for you because you're an independent wrestler and there's tons and tons of material out there and wrestlers out there. You have to be the one to kind of put your ego to the side and knock on a bunch of doors and then also be aware of and like accept the fact that you might knock on 20 doors and maybe a few are gonna actually answer you and say, yeah, here, come on. And so I think
Right.
it's to the point now where it's like I mean, I'll pack my bags and go to Japan and just start knocking on the actual door of like, "Can you let me work here, please? Can you
Yeah,
let
just
me in?"
let me know how does it
Yeah,
happen?
yeah, or just show up in the ring on a show like, "I'm here, buddy. You're not kicking me out."
Just let me know.
Yeah.
Another great thing that you did was have a match with Mercedes Monet.
Yeah.
So she's, obviously number one on the PWI, has, 12 belts currently. Who knows how many she's gonna have in the next 6 months. But what was that experience like?
It was a combination, I think, because it was like the kid in me who used to see her wrestle in
Hmm.
the historic matches was now in front of her. And like not a kid anymore. Now I was like a bigger name because in terms of Mexico, I think I've become one of like the staple. names, and as a lucha libre fan, you just know who Perse is at this point.
Right.
But it was also like, you're in my house now, because when I've gone to AEW and I, kind of was face to face with her, you could feel like that the crowd was with her, because I mean, we're in her house, right? We're in the US. Or
Right.
when we went to Forbidden Door, she's coming in as champion. And so it was that same feeling of like, not a lot of people even know who I am. We're in the UK. So this time around, it just felt more comfortable, but because we're in my house now, we're in Arena
Mhm.
Mexico, where I wrestle week after week, where people chant my name, where I just feel comfortable. Like, I train in the same ring where we wrestle in, right?
Mhm.
That center stage ring, we
Oh,
train there. So it's
nice.
like, so it just felt comfortable of, I know this ring. I know this ring better than anyone here, better than you. Like, it just felt
Mhm.
like home, and it
Like,
felt
"This is
like a
my house."
safe, yeah, it felt like
Mhm.
so much more secure now, because it was like, I've seen you, I faced you in other matches, a four-way match, or just little
Mhm.
moments, but it just didn't feel as secure as this moment, because it was like,
Mhm.
this is my territory now.
Mercedes gives that persona, that, like, CEO, untouchable type thing, right? And
Hmm.
then now you guys are face to face, she's in your house, like, and then, you also grew up watching her. So, mentally, what was it like? Was it like, "I'm just as good as you," or was there, like, a reverence there? Because I feel like sometimes it's how she carries herself now is almost like Beyoncé-esque, and if you know people who've met
Yeah.
Beyoncé, they've they've said that, like, Beyoncé is like there's almost like this aura about her, and it's just kinda
Hmm.
like, like the angels are singing. I don't know if that's the case for
Yeah.
Mercedes, but that's the way she kind of that seems how, like, how she walks, how she carries
Hmm.
herself. So, fast forwarding to, she's in your house now, you being a Leo, what was the what was
Yeah.
that thought process?
I've always had, like, even as a kid, just major confidence of, nah, I can do this, and I'm really good at it. Even if I wasn't, even if like I
Mhm,
had no clue what was going on, it was a, nah, I can do this. I'll be great. And so I've kind of learned to, I guess, amplify it with
mhm,
with Persephone. Like, I feel like that's the whole thing, is the confidence, the cockiness. Just that's just the vibe I have when I'm walking in. It's just, nah, I'm too good. I'm too good for everyone here. And when I went to these other countries, it's not that I couldn't be confident or cocky, but it kind of did, like, kind of make it difficult. It didn't make me feel small, but it did kind of make me like, shoot, like, I don't know these people don't know me. So it was a little
mhm,
hard it took a little more effort to amplify that cockiness, because it was like, oh shoot, like, I was in unknown territories.
right,
So when I was, in my ring where they knew me, where I know them, it made being cocky and arrogant that much easier. Like, it's already something that I think I'm naturally good at, but it just
yeah,
made it that much easier when it was people that knew me, I
yeah,
knew
right, you
them,
me,
I know the ring. Like, it just, this is where I'm comfortable. So I didn't even have to think about it. Like, like, I didn't have to try to push that cockiness and arrogance out. It was something that
mhm,
just came out naturally. And so I think it felt a lot better than other matches that we had had in the past, because yeah, she does have that aura, like, no doubt about it. When she comes out,
mhm,
you feel it. But in this moment, it just felt like, in my head at least, like, we were matched. Like, yeah, you have your aura, but you're in my house now. And I think it's very known in our arena that I'm the cocky one, I'm the arrogant one. And there were chants throughout the match. So, like, the people really helped me to kind of keep up with that arrogant persona that I have, despite having her across the ring from me, because she does have a big presence. But
mhm.
I think what really helped was being at home.
For those who are not familiar with CMLL, like, women, as far as women are, who are the women, or who are the
Mhm.
top women aside from yourself that, we should look out for?
Oh, there are so many. Honestly, I'm so proud because as women in CML, we're known as Amazonas. Like,
So that's
mhm.
okay.
So I don't know, what would you call it? Amazonians in English, I guess.
Uh-huh.
I think you're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazonas.
Mhm,
So we're known as Amazonas, and I'm honestly really proud of, I think, the roster that we have right now, because there are just strong women all around. Like, and there's a little bit of everything. So obviously, Bears is at the top of that mountain, but there are just so much. There's so much to grab and see, because there's a little bit of everything. I think if you like a character that's cocky and arrogant and, likes to make fun of her opponent and just kind of beat the crap out of him. Very Stone Cold vibe. Then you have
Mhm.
Perse, but there's so much more. If you like little high flyers, there's this great high flyer named Gira. If you like powerhouses, there's this girl who has just this big stature, but yet she's very agile, but extremely
Mhm.
agile in Scotty. There's that nasty Catalina who she's Perse's number one rival, but I have to give her due, and she's just the most charismatic person like that you'd see. And she connects with little girls. So if, obviously you're a little girl and you want to see someone dancing and having fun, you
Mhm.
connect with her. So like I think there's just a little bit of everything in our roster. There's Olympia, who's, oh my God, this bodybuilding like statue of a wrestler that just, my
Mhm.
God, like just you could see every little muscle on her. So there's just a little bit of everything. And I'm really proud of the roster that we have.
So I think because you just talked about the Amazonas. Did you win the Grand Prix? You won that for this year,
Yeah.
right? So what
Yeah.
was
So the
that feeling like?
Oh my God, that was crazy all around because it was only my second Grand Prix. I was in it last year,
Mhm.
got eliminated, cried at home. So this was my second year, but this time around, since I'm Mexican American, the first year I represented the international side. So I was
Mhm.
going against the women that I was wrestling and that, are from like my home company because I'm signed to CMLL at this point. I'm working in CMLL. I've been there for
Mhm.
some time, training there. So it felt kind of weird the first time around because I was now on the international side. And the international side of the Grand Prix, for those who don't know, right? It's 10 Mexican Amazonas from CMLL
Mhm.
versus 10 international stars from different companies, Ring of Honor, AEW, Stardom, New Japan, wherever, like just international Rev Pro, just all over. And so
Mhm.
obviously you're defending your flag, you're defending either the international side or the Mexican side. And
Right.
it just felt so weird because on the Mexican side is obviously all the women from CMLL, and I was on the international side looking around like, I don't know these women. And it was great, right? It's like, I'm gonna wrestle, but it's like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know anyone here. And so it felt kind and obviously we have to be a team because we're defending our side there. And it was like, great, like, let's be a team. But I was like, I don't know, y'all. I don't know who these women are. And it just felt so odd because since it's the Grand Prix, obviously there's that like national pride and the arena is obviously Team Mexico. I mean, we're in Mexico, it's Latin
Right.
Mexico. So obviously they're Team Mexico, like through and every minute they're chanting Mexico and they're just for their team. So it just also felt kind of weird, like, am I being a traitor right now? Like, are they gonna kick me out of Mexico? So it just felt so odd last year. And this year it just changed completely because this year I was on the Mexico side now. I was, like representing now my Mexican roots. And so it just felt nice. Like it felt comfortable. Now I was like, I think this is where I should be. Obviously, I was looking to my left and right and I was like, I know you guys. I think I'm on the right team now. And so it's a long tournament. It's like an hour and a half. And obviously you're going in and out and in and out. And there were moments where I was on the ground, like, my God, how much time have we been at this? And like, just because you're flowing in and out, and obviously your partners are getting eliminated one by one. So then you kind of start looking around like, holy crap, there's only two of us left, or there's only three of us left. And you realize, like, because at least when you start off at 10, it's like, I'm going to let them do the
Yeah,
dirty
let
work.
them fight, yeah.
I'll let you all do the work. And so then when you're looking around and realize, oh, crap, it's only two of us, it's only three of us, you realize like this is getting a little bit serious. Like this is starting to get difficult because by then you've probably been at it for like an hour when it's down to 2, 3. So then it's like, oh God, like this is about to get difficult.
Well, congratulations on that, and also
Thank you.
congratulations. I went through your Instagram and, I was like, "Damn." Well, I mean, you have in order to be a wrestler, you have to work out, but, your workout regimen, what do you do? Because, oh my goodness, like
I cry. I ask God to please just take me now, dude. Just take me now. Just end it here, please. Honestly, there's a lot of I don't think people could work out with me, and not because I'm like one of those go, go, go. I don't like those kinds of like, like motivations, those
Right.
coach that I can't do that. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But I do complain a lot, but a
Oh
lot.
my
Like
god.
I
That's
complain
me.
so much, but I'll do it. I'll do
Yeah.
the work. I'll do
That
the extra reps. Like I'll train hard, but I'm gonna complain doing it. I'm
oh my
absolutely like
gosh.
I'm not gonna do it and be like, this is fantastic. I love it. No, I'm gonna do
I
it,
am
but I'm gonna
gonna
complain.
so clip this and send this to my coach because that is me every single day. I complain, but I keep showing up. And
Yeah.
it's like he knows I'm gonna keep showing up. So then he like gives me like talk back and all this stuff. But when you said, oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I'm gonna
Yeah,
up the weight. I'm gonna like push myself, like I'm gonna
right.
do what I have to do, but I'm absolutely gonna complain doing it. Like, what do you mean? You expect me to suffer and then smile? Like, oh great, I'm having a great time. No,
Oh
how
my
can I
gosh.
complain?
You get it. I think you're the
Yeah.
only person
Yeah.
who like that. It's like it's just to me. It's almost like it's almost like a form of therapy because
Yeah.
nowhere else in your life you can complain, especially when you're an adult. You pay bills, all this other stuff. But in this moment, even though you know you're not going to quit, you know you're not going to walk out, you know you're going to come back. It's just like it's almost like therapeutic to just say, I don't want to do this. And then as you're
Yeah.
doing the rep or whatever,
And
oh
I
my
think
gosh,
it's
it's so
it's
crazy.
completely honest. Like I think
Mhm.
I don't know, I see these videos on TikTok and social media of gym rats and people like trying to influence others to go to the gym and it's great, but I just feel like you're lying. You're lying and you know it. Like, who
Right.
goes in and goes, I'm having a great time. Like, this is so much fun. Like, no, you're not. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are moments that, like, oh, this is fun. Like, like, and you motivate yourself
Right.
because you see yourself and it's great. But if you're really being honest, if you're working hard, like, if you're pushing yourself, it's
Mhm.
crap.
It's like this
It feels
sucks.
like
Yeah.
crap.
Mhm.
It hurts. It's painful. It's tiring. Like, lie? Like, don't lie
Right.
to yourself or to others, And so it feels really
Yeah.
honest to like be lifting and, obviously complain
Right.
like this is crap and like this is awful. Like, and it's also I think really therapeutic if you have a coach and if you get along with
Yeah.
your coach to
Yeah.
send them to the moon, be like, go step into traffic, please. When they tell you like up the weight,
Yep.
and you can go to hell then. And you do it, but you do it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can be honest with him of like, screw you,
Oh
dude.
my gosh. Yeah. I literally almost weekly is like, I hate you so much. I
Yeah,
like
right?
hate you so much. And he just
Yeah.
smiles because he knows I'm coming back.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, I love that feeling. But yeah, when I saw your Instagram, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like motivation. Like it's like so kudos to all the hard work
Thank
that you're
you.
doing.
Thank you. Yeah,
Uh,
because I can't work out with those people that are like, one more rep. You can do it. You can do it. This is great. It's like, you need to get out of my face right now. Please stop talking to me.
yeah, like it's funny. It's this is pretty bad. It's like one of those things where I don't count because I know he knows that I don't like doing it, and I know that he's because I'm also like comedy relief for the class,
Hmm.
so he knows that I'm gonna like try to get out of it. I'm still gonna show
Yeah.
up, but he's always counting, and so it's
Yeah.
just kind of like you have 5 more reps. Like, what do you mean I have 5? I thought I had one. It's like as I'm gonna continue to do the 5. So
Yeah.
it's I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It was just hilarious that you said that because like I totally agree. Um, your career, you started when you're young and you're doing so many amazing things at such a young age. What do you want your legacy to be?
I think I'm really proud of the championships that I've won, the Grand Prix, the tournaments, the cups, and the trips. And obviously I'm going to keep working to accumulate more, right? More trips and more
Mhm,
more big moments like that. But I think at the end of it all, whether I keep winning or don't, I think the big thing that I want to be known for is that she never stopped working. Like
mhm,
I try to every match do something a little new, do something different, work to push myself, like, because I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger in other sports, I was not agile, like, at all. Like, if I jumped, I think I got off the ground, like, this much. Like, I just wasn't and my dad used to make fun of me so much because he would I would jump, and he'd be like, "Dude, you barely left the ground." Like, like, "Yeah, you got off the ground this much." Like, I don't know what you're thinking, because I would think, like, "Look at me, and I'm jumping," and he'd laugh, like, "Buddy, you got off the ground, like, this much. I don't know where you
oh my
think you're
gosh,
going."
your
And
dad sounds
so
hilarious.
yeah, no, he's been the most honest person in my life. Like if I mess up or something, he's like, that was not good. You
That
need to
wasn't
get back to the
it.
workshop because that was not it. And so I was not the most agile person, but I decided like, no, I want to be a full package. I don't want to just be a powerhouse because when I first started, it was pretty obvious from the start that I was going to be like a powerhouse type of wrestler where I was going
Mhm,
to be picking up girls and throwing them, and especially with the Olympic background, I can
Right.
suplex the hell out of a person. But I
Mhm.
thought I don't want to just be that. And especially being in Mexico, the bar here, I think, for athleticism is just so much higher. Like I'm telling you, there are
Mhm.
women that are just doing crazy things. If you look up Kira, she's my God, doing high flying things that like the men do. Or if you look up
Mhm.
Scotty, like I said, she's just a much bigger figure than most, and you wouldn't expect
Mhm.
her to do the agile thing she does. So when you come here to Mexico, you realize that the bar is just so much higher and you need to push yourself to get up there. And I pushed myself to be more agile, to do things that I never thought I could do, like a springboard from the ground to the third rope, like type things that I was never going to be doing when I first started that I
Right.
can do now. And so I think that's what I would like my legacy to be, not so much the championships and all that, which are great, but it's that she pushed herself to the limit day in and day out. And she like did things that every day she was trying to be better.
Okay. Now to piggyback off of that, I mean, you've already had some incredible matches with folks. Who's on your like list? It's like, man, I need to have matches with
Yeah,
these women.
there are so many on my list, and I'm gonna keep repeating it. So I'm sorry if y'all are tired of me, but I'm not sorry actually. These like alliances have
Mhm.
opened the door to like get to know people and obviously make it a possibility that we can wrestle all these
Right.
people that maybe wasn't a thing in the past. And so there are people like Tekla in AEW or a
Mhm.
one-on-one with Mina or just like honestly there are so many women in AEW and Ring of Honor that I could go on about. There are so many women in Stardom.
Mhm.
There's Stardom strong women's champion right now. Like it's just there are so many women now that we have that opportunity to face that I think would be just so much fun because I think the best matches are when you mix these styles of American wrestling and then lucha libre and Japanese
Mhm.
wrestling, and you kind of see them all blend. I think those are the best matches.
Yeah, it's incredible, I think when the Forbidden Door first started, it was kind of like because it was so segregated at one point, right before that, and
Hmm.
then, like, the Forbidden Door just kind of like, you'd see it once in a while, but now you're seeing, AEW with, all the CMLL and ROH, like, you're seeing this and it's becoming more of a reality, so it's so great to see that, so I definitely agree, so many opportunities for great matches.
Yeah, and it was segregated. And it also even felt like taboo. Like back in the day, like we'd have interviews and it was like if we were asked, who would you like to wrestle or who do you like to, it was like you couldn't mention other companies, you
Right,
couldn't mention other wrestlers. Like it just felt like no, I have to stick to my company. And like and now I
right.
think it's so great that you can branch out and you can say like no, I want to wrestle, someone from that company and someone from this company. Like it's just branching out so much. And honestly, one of my favorite matches is the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom because it
Mhm,
was a mix of styles and it just felt so cool because I'd go in with Willow and that was like a hard hitting style, right? So it's like you had to
mhm,
prepare for a little bit of everything because I'd go in with Willow and she's more of a hard hitter and just powerhouse. And then Athena was there who's a little bit of everything. She has hard strikes, but she's also
mhm,
got agile as hell. And then Momo was there with her Japanese style. So it was like everywhere you
mhm.
turned, you had to kind of be prepared for different styles. And that's what
Yeah,
I thought was just so amazing in that match. Like I love that match so much
yeah.
because there's a mix of different styles.
How do you, uh, or prepare for something like that? Because like, you're so not necessarily used to, like, the lucha libre style, but you're kinda used to, "Okay, this is how it's done," and then, you get, a blow to the face that's
Hmm.
harder than you expected. You're just like, "Wait."
Yeah.
So how do you prep for that?
I think in terms of the pace, that wasn't really an issue because lucha libre is so go, go, go,
Quick,
go, go,
yeah.
just nonstop. And so,
Mhm,
and for the most part in lucha libre, there's not really tags like in traditional pro wrestling. And so you
mhm,
could be wrestling someone and the second, like in a 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and let's say like, I beat the crap out of one of my opponents and get her out of the ring. Usually in pro wrestling, you would think like, "Ah, I have a breather, right? Like
mhm.
I got her down. I can breathe for a second." Not in lucha libre. You get her down, and all of a sudden, someone's coming in from the back to like, oh no, you didn't, and then hitting you. So like,
Right.
in terms of the like go, go, go feel, that wasn't bad. But getting to feel women that I hadn't felt out before, that was a little bit different because I'd do something with Athena and I'd maybe get her down for a second and I'd, take a breather and all of a sudden Moa was giving me just this hard kick to the back that took the air out of me and like kicks that I hadn't felt before.
Oh
Or
boy.
in Mexico, I'm used to being the powerhouse. Like I'm one of
Right.
the strongest one. I'm used to throwing women around. And then
Hmm.
all of a sudden, Willow was picking me up like nothing and throwing me around. So then, like, I was in the corner, like, what the hell just happened? Like, I'm not used to being thrown around like that. I'm used to
Right.
throwing people around. So she threw me around, and I thought, what the hell is going on? Like, I was just shocked, or like, Athena was just giving me hard strikes. But then also, she has, I think, a style that's similar to Lucha Libre. Like, she has, so that I think she was probably the most comfortable for me to work with because I thought this is a little bit
Hmm.
known. Like, this is familiar. But
Right.
still, having that, and then all of a sudden getting the air knocked out of you with a kick or getting thrown around like a doll, like it was just all very new to me.
It's very like, yeah, I couldn't even imagine. Better you than me.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, considering you've been in the game for so long, you've been like the amount of years you've been wrestling is almost the you've been able to see the evolution of women's wrestling. You've
Yeah.
seen so many things that have happened in the last 5 to 6 years. So, what are your hopes as far as women's wrestling are for the next couple of years?
I mean, from what it looks like, I feel like it's going in a great direction because it has. It's grown so much, or even since I was a kid. Like, and obviously, like you said, the last 5, 6 or years that I've been wrestling,
Hmm.
it's grown so much. But even just as a kid, because as a kid, obviously, like I'd watch those 2 minute, 3 minute matches where
Right.
they kind of just pulled each other's hair, slapped each other. But because that was
Yeah.
what they were told to do, like be feminine, be, like
Hmm.
be girly, go out there and be girly. And so seeing the transition of those matches to now women that are wrestling, like they are putting on freaking show of like we can do everything you can and if not more, like to the point where sometimes women's matches are better than the men's matches, and like I just think we're going in a great direction because now we have, at least in CMLL, but I've also seen in other companies where women are main eventing. i've
Hmm.
I think I'm blessed to say I've main evented a show where it's been a card full of women, but I've also main
Hmm.
evented to where there were men below us, and so like that was just something like crazy. And I think the women that came before us, like the legends in CMLL who paved that way would have never imagined. Like, what do you mean women are gonna main event a show with men? Like men are gonna go below you all. And so like it's
Right.
just crazy to see how far we've come. And I really think we could keep pushing it and we could, I mean, I don't know, we're already given so much and I'm honestly so proud of us to where we have championships we didn't have before and tournaments and we
Hmm.
have all female cards now that we didn't have before. So I mean, who knows how far we can push it, but I definitely think we can strive for something bigger, like maybe, I don't know, all women forbidden door type of thing. Like, like
Mm.
bigger cards that are
Yep.
now heavily stacked with women because the match that we had at Wrestle Kingdom and the match that we had at Forbidden Door, they're fairly new concepts in general. Just Forbidden Door in general is fairly new. And I remember like the first ones, I think CMLL didn't really represent that much, or like it wasn't
Mhm. Yeah, it was
very
still a feeling out
broad.
process. Hmm.
And so I think it could be to the point where now a lot more of us go, and maybe Forbidden Doors, maybe a half and half of like half women, half men, even to the point
Hmm.
where there's like an all female Forbidden Door type of show of where it's
Hmm.
just the women from Stardom, just the women from CMLL, from AEW, from Ring of
I
Honor,
like
from
that.
Rev Pro. Like I really think we could do it because just from the Grand Prix, you get a feel of different styles and just what there is in every country. And when I went to the UK and I wrestled with Rev Pro, there was just so many women. There are so many women that I saw there. I had a one-on-one with Emerson Jane, and oh my God, she was just crazy. And I had another
Right.
one-on-one with Alexis Falcone, and she was also so good. So it's like just getting a feel of like there are so many great women out here too. And obviously, I know that there are great women in CMLL. From what I've seen in AEW, there are great like there are just great women
Hmm.
everywhere, and there's so much talent. I feel like we could put on like a forbidden door of all women.
Right. No, yeah, it is so crazy when you discover
Yeah.
other women because the world is so small and so big at the same time. So it's just like, the PWI is a really great tool because you have 250 women, and some of them you might never have heard of, and now you can look them up and see all the great things that they're doing. So it is really cool to see that. And yeah, I would definitely want to see an all women's Forbidden Door. Oh my gosh,
Right?
Tony Khan,
Yeah.
please on that.
Tony, give me another call. We can book this right now, buddy.
That part. And so for people who are for wrestling fans who are walking away from this interview, because for me it's like, I think where we are right now is people know of CMLL, but they might not watch it on a regular basis. So for people who are walking away from this interview, what is the one thing that you would want them to know about CMLL and yourself?
Oh, in terms of CMLL. Now I'm CMLL.
I know, right? It's like, I don't want to miss the L. It's 2 L's.
And then Perse in trouble because she can't say her own company. In terms of CMLL, you can expect just so much great wrestling. So much. I'm not gonna lie, I think in terms of stories that maybe the American fan base are used to, you won't get too much of it because here I think we're focused more on the wrestling side of it. But I think that's what makes it something fresh and great to see, of that you're gonna see a lot of wrestling and just a lot of athleticism. Like I said, when I came to Mexico and started training in the arena, right away you got the feel of holy crap, the bar is really high here because there's just so much of everything and everyone is so athletic. And I think just the minimum is being extremely athletic. And so like when you see like this is the like minimum of what I have to do to be here, it just shows like how great of athletes there are here. Like there are just some spectacular people doing crazy things. And so I think if you're gonna watch any CMLL show, you're gonna see great wrestling and you're gonna see a lot of everything. You're gonna see high flyers, you're gonna see powerhouses, you're just gonna see great tag team like combinations. You're just gonna see so much because there's so much in CMLL in terms of athleticism and in terms of like what they can do physically. I feel like they push the limit, the women and the men, to like what's possible. In terms of Perse, you can expect a lot of arrogant cockiness, a lot of it's become like one of those gags now in shows where people will yell at me and it's a given now that I respond with. And like that's what they're expecting. And so you can expect a lot of cockiness, but at the same time, a lot of great wrestling because like I said, that's the standard in CMLL. Like, yes, we have our character, we are who we are, and we obviously present ourselves however we like. And the things, it's wrestling, it's pure wrestling, and it's just so much athleticism. And in my case, I like to be a powerhouse, but I like to fly. I like to throw people. I'm not gonna let go of that Olympic side of suplexing the hell out of people. So you can expect something fresh and new and great from Perse every week because I'm always pushing myself to be better than I was last week.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to this. I'm gonna hop on adding CMLL to my wrestling watch list weekly. Last question before we get out of here. As far as Lucha Libre women, who would be the Mount Rushmore? Who would be on your Mount Rushmore?
There are. What is it? Is it 5? I think it's 5, right?
It's 4.
It's
I used
4?
to think it was 5
made it
too.
worse.
It's 4, yeah.
You made it worse. Okay. It's Amapola,
Okay.
Marcela.
Okay.
Oh my God, you made it really difficult because I only have 2. Lidia Apache.
Okay.
Oh my God, you left me with one. It's because there are so many. Oh my God, there are so many. I personally would say Dark Angel, who is Sarah Stock.
Okay.
But there are so many options. Like there's a crap ton of, like, if you gave me more options, there's just so many because my God, back in the day, and I think it was that pressure of when we're only given like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they didn't have championships, or they were maybe put on a card, like, for the most part, not so much.
Yeah.
So I think it
It's
was
like
that
one women's
pressure
match
of
or something.
we have we have limited time, so we have to make the most of it. And oh my God, they were doing some crazy things. So if you look up matches between Marcela, Amapola, Lady Apache, Dark Angel, but there's so many more like Princesa Suhei. My God, they were doing some crazy stuff, especially for the time that like you're watching these matches, the 90s,
Hmm.
early 2000s. My God, they were doing crazy stuff. So yeah, for sure, 100%.
Okay. I'm gonna definitely look them up.
Yeah,
Now people should be looking you up just in case they're not following you. So where can they
of
find you and
course.
how can they support?
On Instagram, obviously. If you ask me for like my actual Mount Rushmore, it's Perse and then Perse and then Perse and then Perse again. That's
I
my
mean,
actual Mount Rushmore.
this is the
My
truth. You're gonna
actually,
have it.
yeah, my
Mhm.
mood board is actually all me. People have their inspiration board. I wake
Oh
up
my
and it's me.
gosh.
It's
You
me.
don't know, my phone screen has been me for the last 10 years. It's so
Because yeah,
crazy
what else
that
would it
I
be?
mean, like, yeah,
Well,
because, like,
exactly.
why not?
But on Instagram, it's Perse, Perse .am. On Facebook, Perse Miranda.
Yeah. And then do you have, like, merch or anything for people to support?
I do. So on Instagram, there is a page, and it's in the bio of my like actual page in case you
Okay.
don't find it. But it's perse.shop with two P's.
Mhm.
So anytime I get new merch, I'll post the updates and I'll, try to keep track of it as much as I can. And so I do ship to the US and really all around the world. So if you all want to support, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to rock a Perse shirt, right? Like obviously. So yeah, you guys can send a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Perse, for joining. I think I
Of
got that right.
course, thank you. You did. It sounded really good. It sounded fantastic. I think you're fluent now, actually.
Thank you so much for joining and educating me. Like I said, wrestling is this becoming so big and so small at the same time that it's great to, interview people from, different promotions that we don't necessarily follow all the time. And now you have
Yeah.
a fan of me, so I'm gonna definitely follow and see the journey because,
Thank
I
you.
mean, same birthday, like why not?
Of course,
What happened?
why not?
Yeah,
I think we're
why not?
obviously both great. Yeah. Yeah,
That
no, I
part.
think it's a great time. I think it's a great time to be a wrestler, but then also to be a fan. Like there's just so much
Hmm.
out there now, and there's just especially like, obviously with the new like platforms that you can see wrestling, because obviously as a kid you couldn't
Hmm.
really see too much because like where do I see it? Like where,
Yeah.
it's like
Hmm.
where am I supposed to find this? And so now there's just streaming platforms all over the place where you can
Yep.
find all this wrestling. So I think it's a great time to be a fan.
Yeah. It's a great time. It's a great time to be a fan of women's wrestling because you're not seeing like the cookie cutter anymore.
Yeah.
You're seeing different people, different shapes, different sizes, different ethnicities,
Yeah.
and you're seeing women do amazing, having babies and then coming back. It's such a such an amazing time right now to
Yeah.
be a fan of women's wrestling. I mean, I like the
Yeah.
guys too, but I mean, women are
Meh.
rocking it right now.
They're all right.
Well, thank you again so much for coming on. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can follow me everywhere at TK Trinidad. You can follow Women's Wrestling Talk on all social media platforms at www.talkpod.com. Thank you guys so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.